Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. With me is a special guest, Aryana Sayeed. She's an Afghan pop sensation. You must have seen her videos. She's insanely popular all over the world. Aryana, thank you very much for joining us right here on NDTV. First of all, how are you? Are you well? How did it feel when you left Afghanistan?
Thank you for having me. Well, even though I'm in LA right now, out of Afghanistan, but unfortunately, you know, it's heartbreaking for me, whatever that's going on in Afghanistan. I really am upset and sad and disappointed how Afghanistan is left in a disastrous situation right now, left alone and let down by the world. And my heart is just going out for the millions of people, innocent people that we have inside Afghanistan, and they don't have anywhere to go but to just stay in a bad situation like that right now.
What did you see at the airport, Aryana? And if you could define the feeling, the sentiment, because, you know, we've seen this picture of you on that big C-17 plane leaving Afghanistan. What was going on in your mind?
Well, what happened was the day that I had a flight from Kabul. Unfortunately, by that time, Taliban were all over the place already. And everything that you see in these clips, I saw them in person. It was really horrifying. It was just heartbreaking to see, you know, thousands of people trying to rush to the airport and find some kind of a way to get out, because they all fear for their lives and they're scared. You know, there was like chaos, absolute chaos, children crying, screaming, people piled up on top of each other, inside the planes, outside the plane. The roads were closed with like no space, no oxygen, no air to breathe. It was just very heartbreaking. And I guess, as I said earlier, I was just one of those lucky ones with a UK passport who got lucky to get out. And then, you know, there's thousands of people over there waiting and hoping for some kind of opportunity to get out, and unfortunately they can't.
Aryana, how was it like performing? We're just playing a video of yours when you were performing for Afghanistan, for people of Afghanistan. How does it feel that maybe in the near future you may not actually be able to do so?
See, the clip that you're just playing right there is a performance of mine on the football field that's called the Ghazi Stadium. The Ghazi Stadium is the place where Taliban used to openly execute women. They used to shoot them in the head, and there are clips of that on YouTube. And I performed on that very field, and that was something very historic for me, for Afghanistan, and it was shared by all the countries in the world. And that was a very, very astonishing moment for me, because I was able to do that. And now, unfortunately, you know, even thinking about the fact that I will not be able to go back to Afghanistan is completely heartbreaking for me. I hope that that does not happen, and I hope that we can have some kind of, you know, a solution for Afghanistan. And I hope that the world just wake up and they just help Afghanistan and the Afghan nation. And I hope that the women do not get shot in the head again like they used to.
That's an important point that you're making. Aryana, we'll come to, you've mentioned this twice, that you're disappointed in the global response as far as this Afghan crisis is concerned. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I want to ask you this question on what you think is the future of women under Taliban. They say they've been making a lot of noises, almost launching a propaganda PR exercise across the globe that we will be very kind to women. We're not the same Taliban anymore. Do you trust them?
Not at all. Not at all. I do not trust them. I don't believe a word of that. I firmly believe that they're only doing that so that they can be recognized by the world. And once they're recognized, I'm sure they will go back to their reality and who they are. I mean, everything that they're saying right now about women and stuff like that, where is the guarantee that they will actually act upon their words? And, even if the world does reach some kind of a deal with them, I hope that they can hold them accountable for what they're saying. But I personally do not believe them at all. And I believe that if Afghanistan is left in the hands of Taliban, there will be no future for Afghan women, that's for sure.
Do you think that there'll be public executions of women again, that they'll be shot in the head at that Ghazi stadium or the other places again, and the Taliban can never really be a moderate form of itself?
Well, probably because, once they're recognized, they will not care about the world anymore. Even if the world is watching them, what can they do? Nothing. They will be the new official government in Afghanistan. They will have the power to do whatever that they want. And, my main issue with Taliban is that they're not even Afghan. Most of them are Pakistani. They have Pakistani passports. They have Pakistani names. And Pakistan is where they get trained. They get their support and they get their funds from Pakistan. And, Pakistan is very sneaky and they have been interfering in the Afghan government and in our politics for many, many years now. And it's very unfortunate that we are left in their hands right now.
Just a couple of questions on women. There were a lot of these TV anchors from Afghanistan who came on air. I think this had to do with the fact that there was some amount of change in Afghanistan for 2 decades, and then suddenly they were jolted back into the past, the very horrendous past. Many women were saying, many Indian women who came on a special flight to Delhi, they said that the moment women learnt that the Taliban has reached Kabul, they broke down. They started crying. Why were these women crying, Aryana? I mean, you as a woman, as a person who's performed in Afghanistan, will relate to why they were crying. Can you tell us why?
See, the experience that Afghan women went through with Taliban is absolutely, scary. They're scared. They fear for their future. They know that they will not have a life with Taliban. They know that they will not even be able to have their basic rights with Taliban, and that's why they're all upset. They're scared. They're crying. I have about 21, people working for me for my clothing line in Afghanistan, which I just launched a month ago, and more than half of them is women. The day that we heard that Taliban are coming, they were all terrified and they were all crying, thinking, first of all, they were thinking maybe they will be raped, maybe they will be taken as a wife to Taliban, and then obviously the fact that they will be locked inside their houses and they will not be able to leave the house without the presence of a man anymore. All that is like, I'm getting shivers right now in my hands, because as you said, 20 years and Afghan women worked so hard. They achieved so many things. They studied, they had like big jobs in the government. They were doctors, teachers, and all that. And all the achievements that they have, how can that just go in vain within, a span of a few days? Is just heartbreaking and unbelievable that the world would actually do that to us.
And Aryana, some of the women, now the Taliban's latest statement is that women can stay at home. We'll make sure that they get their salary. That's really not the point.
Oh my God.
That's really not the point.
No.
The point was empowerment. And you've taken that away.
Exactly. First of all, let me tell you that Afghanistan doesn't even have that much funds and money to be able to, feed people like that who are sitting at home and can get money from the government. That is something that they can even dream on. That's impossible. Afghanistan is in such a poor situation right now. There's no money, there's no jobs, there's nothing, no funds. And then secondly, as you said, there's no point, getting money and sitting at home. You should be able to have, your basic rights, which is just merely going outside and feeling the freedom of being a human and breathing and, be able to go to school and work and whatever the hell that you want. I mean, look at Saudi. Okay. For Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia is like a role model when it comes to Islam. Even in Saudi Arabia, women are able to go to outside, they're able to work, they're able to drive, they have music, they have everything. I mean, why does Afghanistan's Islam and religion has to be different to the entire world? Why do we have to suffer and be encaged inside the cage and inside our houses. Why does it have to be like that? It's just unacceptable for any woman in Afghanistan.
Now let's come to that very important point that you have mentioned repeatedly in this interview, and with quite some reason. Aryana, why are you disappointed in the world?
I am disappointed because 20 years ago, the reason why they went to Afghanistan, they said, we're going to go to Afghanistan because we want to get rid of Al-Qaeda and Taliban. 20 years, they stayed there. They spent millions and trillions of dollars in Afghanistan. The UK soldiers were sacrificed there. American soldiers' lives were lost there. And after 20 years, no solution. They would just leave Afghanistan in the hands of a bunch of Pakistani people, and they would let down all the women, the children, the people who are innocent, and with no results. That's why I'm disappointed, and I'm really shocked that they would actually leave us alone like that.
The role of the United States, Aryana, and the role of the global community. See, the US, I'm sure you're there. You must have heard these arguments also. You are an extremely informed citizen. The US says we've fought this battle enough. We fought it for 20 long years. We provided with the best of equipment, aid, spent billions of dollars. And now this is a fight that the Afghanistan army and the Afghanistan government had to fight. And that's why we're going out. We can't endlessly be there in a country.
Yeah, I mean, okay, their fight was the Taliban. If we try to count Taliban, I do not even believe that there would be more than a few thousands of them. It's just ridiculous to me that America, with such a huge power, UK with such a huge power, would not be able to get rid of Taliban in Afghanistan. That is something that's really ridiculous to me. I think, it's just some kind of excuse that they are trying to make. I don't know if it's a political game. I have no idea what it is, but honestly,
it's left a lot
there's
of
something
people
fishy
suffering
behind it.
It's left a lot of people suffering.
Exactly.
How many fans do you have in India? Do you like India? What sort of assistance would you or expectation will you have from India? I mean, India has really good historic ties with Afghanistan. What's your opinion?
Absolutely,
what can our country
absolutely. Do? You know what? I really appreciate what India has been to Afghanistan over the years. They, amongst our neighborhood, India has been the only true friend that we've had. And I, on behalf of Afghanistan, would like to express my utmost gratitude to India. And I will say that we are forever thankful for the honesty and for the friendship that we have received from India. I love Indian people, even though I've been to India only twice, for a very short period of time. But what I can tell you is, I know a lot of Afghan families who've spent time in India, and they have such great things to say about Indian people all the time. And, we are grateful, we're happy. And I hope that even though I haven't been able to work in India have music to do anything musically, but I hope that one day I can do that. And, I can be back. And also, India is completely opposite of Pakistan to us. Pakistan is trying to pressure and spread terrorism inside Afghanistan, and India is the opposite. India is trying to help us, bring peace in Afghanistan and friendship and harmony and love, and we appreciate that.
Aryana, do you have family in Afghanistan right now, or an extended family? Any members? Are they there?
I do have extended families, and I have my very good friends in Afghanistan whose lives are in real danger right now, because most of them have been government officials and they're stuck right now. They have nowhere to go. They're hiding, not even in their own houses. They're hiding somewhere else in their relatives' houses because they're scared of being caught. And my heart is just so broken for them. I'm in touch with them, and I keep on giving them hope on the phone, even though everybody is hopeless. There is no hope, but, still, I feel that it's my job to do that. So I'm keep on telling them to keep calm, that everything is going to be okay. But if everything is going to be okay or not, we have no idea. It doesn't look like it right now, at least.
Aryana, do you at some point when you were on that flight escaping from Afghanistan, did you somewhere tell yourself, how I wish there will come one time where I'll be back in Afghanistan? I'll perform in stadiums.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't even bring myself to think that, okay, this is the last time that I was in this land. I couldn't even bring myself to that. And I didn't even want to think about it. You know, I was just, I went through such a horrific, experience that night that, I was like basically shocked. I'm just stoned like a robot. I couldn't think anything. I had all I was thinking was, oh my God, like, okay, I'm here. I'm out. What about all those people? My heart was just bleeding for them. The kids that I saw outside that plane, outside the gate where thousands of them were waiting, and they were, children fainting, women fainting because of the lack of oxygen, and piled up on top of each other. It was just so devastating for me. I was just stoned and shocked.
Aryana, the fact that, we saw pictures from the Kabul airport where women were willing to give their infants to the soldiers inside the airport. This emotion which will force a mother to give her child away. What could have been those circumstances? I really don't understand. It's such a difficult thing to do. Impossible thing to do.
I'm going to tell you something. I actually experienced that firsthand myself, where I was given a little baby of this lady, and because I was on the other side of the airport, yes, she gave me the baby, and she was telling me to take her inside with me. When I was going to go through the gates inside the airplane to the American military base, and they were opening the gate only for me because I had a UK passport. And there was this woman beside me, and she had a little baby screaming and crying. And I was thinking, this baby is going to die any minute. So she gave me the baby. As I'm about to go inside, the soldier is opening the door, and she's saying, can you please take my baby with you? And I'm like thinking, my heart's saying, let me do that. And then my second thought is saying, if I take her baby inside and then she is not allowed to come in, how can I separate a baby from her mother? I was scared of that. And then I'm begging the soldiers, the American soldiers, I'm like, please, 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 can you let this woman in? Because her baby is gonna die. She cannot breathe, and there's no oxygen, and she's been screaming for hours. And unfortunately, the soldiers could not open the gate for her, and I had to give her baby back, and I don't even know if she made it. I don't even know if her baby died. That's one picture that I cannot take out of my head because it was really upsetting to me.
My God.
I'm sorry.
No, this is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. This is something that you have experienced, Aryana. Just imagine what must be the plight of those millions of women who were not there at the Kabul airport, who could not approach you, who could not even appeal to you that please take my baby away. What a massive tragedy this is. Do you think your country will ever come out of this?
I don't know. I don't know. But I just hope. I just hope so. That's why I'm trying to spread the word out there, and I'm begging and urging the world to do something and to help those innocent people, to help those millions of people who got nowhere to go. There are like thousands of people. The day before we left Kabul, there was like thousands of people on the streets coming from other provinces, leaving their houses. They came to Kabul with their children and kids, and they were on the street without food, without shelter, and nobody to help them. And it's just unbearable, to see our people in that status. And it's so disappointing that I cannot even do anything for them. And I am, I'm heartbroken. I'm disappointed, but I'm going to continue being strong for for my people, and I'm going to
What a lovely
try
message.
and spread the word out as much as I can
What a
and
lovely,
hope for the best.
What a lovely message, Aryana. Do you think that this is the strength? You know, today what you're saying, even in your tears and this resolution, must be giving a lot of courage to those women. You know, those women who fought the Taliban, who for 20 years thought that there is hope. Why else would a mother give you her child? Because she wants the child to be free, to not see the past. Are you hopeful that the women of Afghanistan can see a bright future ahead of them?
You know what? I really hope and put my fingers crossed that they will thrive for it at least. I know that we are hopeless right now, but I believe in the strength of the women of Afghanistan. They have been strong for so many years now. We've been through 40 years of war. It's not a joke. And they've been through a very tough time with Taliban, even in the past. They survived it. They will survive it again if they keep it strong and they thrive to, you know, be able to have access for their basic rights at least, and they have to fight for their freedom. I believe in the power of humanity. I believe in the power of God, and I believe in the power of women of Afghanistan. They're strong and they can come out of it, but they have to fight for it.
Aryana, for the women of Afghanistan, for whom you are a role model, can I request you to devote a song, anything that comes to your mind, any thought that comes to your mind, a few words? I think this will just give them a lot of strength, courage and power to soldier on.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to do that because right now I have another channel waiting for me for another interview.
Sure.
You know, unfortunately, I will have to say goodbye to you, and I hope that I can catch up with you some other time.
All right. More power to you, and thank you so much for speaking from your heart. This means a lot, Aryana. Thank you so much. More power to you and to the women of Afghanistan. Thank you.